Well, here we go again. Snyder Cut teaser rumored for HBO Max launch. So, this is on Cosmic Book News, and a rumor promising there might be a little teaser put together for them to say that yes, there will be a Snyder Cut on HBO Max, since they can't just say, "Hey, it's on here." Because Snyder said he wants to film some more stuff for it. Can't do it now, outbreak. And so instead, they'll say, "Yeah, it's coming, and it'll get there when he can finish that up." And so that would officially announce the deal, and that there could be interest in this to for people to subscribe and all that. So anyway, all right. Boy, I saw this while I was at work. As soon as I got home, I knew I had to do a video. So Snyder Cut teaser rumored to be released with HBO Max on May 27th. It's claimed that HBO Max users will get a sneak peek of the Snyder Cut with the launch of the stream. Well, that in and of itself, yeah, I will sign up if this is true. I'm gonna have to cancel some other stuff because the subscription price for HBO Max is pretty steep, but then again, it offers more than what the rest do. So figure that. But the Snyder Cut teasers claim to be a short video of behind-the-scenes footage about Zack putting his project together, along with a few teasers. Oh, well, the info comes from a user on Facebook who is apparently a veteran of the Air Force and who has worked in radio. So, worked in radio, maybe he knows some people and all this sort of thing. Anyway, or her, we don't want to, yeah. Oh boy, anyway. HBO, WB, AT&T, DC, and Time Warner are hoping that the hype will put HBO Max in a media frenzy, ensuring that its launch has a successful amount of subscribers and publicity. Then shortly thereafter, they plan on releasing the Snyder Cut. Joe Bateman posted to the BVS Allegory #Release the Snyder Cut Facebook group on Tuesday. Well, this is from the comic book version of the CW Crisis story. Boy, it looks a lot cooler than it was, than the show was. Probably should have just read that, huh? Yeah. He only had a cameo, that guy. But anyway, and he wasn't in it at all. A Crisis on Infinite Earth ties to Snyder Cut. Now, this is something I thought about they could do and just say, well, it's an alternate version of what really happened, or something along those lines, and embrace their multiverse stuff. And of course, if it's overwhelmingly popular and gets their numbers for HBO Max, then, okay, it's the official Justice League movie. And the other one is, that was another Earth. Yeah. Bateman, not Batman, goes on to explain that Warner Brothers had or has plans to use a deluxe edition of the Crisis on Infinite Earths comic book that was recently released as a part of the Arrowverse crossover that would feature new material, extending the Ezra Miller DCEU, the Flash cameo, and that the deluxe edition would have or will be released in conjunction with the launch of HBO Max. So, extra footage for that thing. He says the comic book. I guess referring to this one, not the original series, I assume. The only part of this rumor that seems complicated is that DC Comics has planned on releasing a deluxe, the comic book graphic novel in conjunction with HBO Max. Launch date, the hardcover deluxe edition graphic novel is to be based on the Arrowverse television saga. Rumor has it that there is to be additional storyline of Grant Gustin meeting Ezra Miller's Flash. The continued storyline would basically explain how the Snyderverse is still possible, seeing how it still exists on another Earth timeline. Crisis also gives WB flexibility if they want to remove certain things from canon. Yeah, it's only one in, yeah. What that would be is anyone's guess. The reason why this part of the rumor is complicated is that comic book shops are all closed, and printing has seemingly been put up. Yeah, that's a problem. I guess they could release it digitally, but they do have those other distributors that they signed up with, and so I guess they could send it to Walmart. That's still open. So they'll get it out there somehow. Bateman also claimed the recent Justice League Dark Apocalypse War animated movie ties into things. The release of Justice League Dark Apocalypse War was also to test the waters. If you saw the film, you know it contained many elements and head nods to Zack's visionary plans. I have not seen it, but at the outset, I thought, hey, that's kind of like what we've heard about what the original plot was. And so, there might be something to this, that if the reception of it is good enough, that boosts it even more so of having a live action. Now, as I understand it, a lot of the ideas and stuff about going to Apocalypse and fighting Darkseid and stuff was supposed to be for yet another Justice League film, not the initial one. The initial one sets that up, and you see Darkseid in it, but the actual fight and what have you on Apocalypse and then later Earth was going to be 2 other films. So in the whole time warp thing with the Flash and all that was going to be a part of it. But nevertheless, the mood and tone and ideas and themes in it appear to have been explored in this one. I have not seen it yet. I guess I'm going to have to now. But apparently, just a lot of people are drawing that conclusion that, hey, this is a lot like Snyder's ideas. So, yes, if it's all very popular, Snyder could return to the DCEU. If all true, this was planned to give Warner Brothers maximum flexibility in the event that Snyder Cut and Wonder Woman 1984 is a huge success. Fingers crossed it will be. That way, they'll have their scapegoat and can continue with Zack's plans. Usually when you want a scapegoat, you want to blame somebody for failure. So if it all doesn't work out, they'll scrap all that and thanks, Zack, but no thanks, and that would be the end of it, But they are hearing us. Keep posting on social media, the hashtag Snyder Cut. Keep paying for these films, graphic novels, etc. Is this a Warner Brothers insider? Are you a DC Comics employee? But it stands to reason. Yes, the more this stuff shows popularity in it, then they're like, well, all right, it's what they want. Your support is critical to the very important decisions in the coming months. Give them a reason to bring Zack back. They are open to it if they feel that there is still a huge demand to continue with his universe. Because let's say the Snyder Cut is released and you watch it and all that, but it's set up to set up other movies. So the actual story presented in it doesn't really conclude without 2 more films, So, this would have to be an overwhelming popular idea. And they would say, well, Zack, let's talk. And he, continues on with new Justice League movies. So the Facebook user continues in the comments and suggests Zack Snyder stopped working on his Netflix movie, Army of the Dead, to work on the Snyder Cut. I hadn't heard that. I thought he was finished with that. And that's what it was. But according to this guy, is that no, he announced he had to stop production. Anyone notice the time frame between when HBO Max was announced, when Zack was hitting us hard with pictures of his cut, and the unexplained reason why Army of the Dead was pushed back a few months for production? No, I didn't notice that, but I'll take your word for it. He's saying like in the midst of it. So I'm guessing Army of the Dead is finished, but that he paused it at a time. Yeah, that does sound familiar now that I think about it. Zack was working on this. His pictures came from his project. He was walking down memory lane with us as he completed his work. Now he's finished, and he's just started production of his newest film. He'll be finished with it by the time Warner Brothers sees the hype of his cut and decides how to move forward with the DC Universe. I heard this through a verbal conversation with a very reliable source. It's happening. Get excited and make sure you financially support it so DC brings back Zack. Again, Bateman, do you work for DC? I'm kidding. I don't know. Bateman does note that this is to be considered some of it could be absolutely true, but then again, all of it could be absolutely untrue. And that's, but it stands to reason. I would think there is something to it, and they would like to release it, but due to current events, you can't have that ready for the launch. So we will soon know if this is true. I certainly hope that I have not been fooled. Yeah, me too. And I certainly hope that I have made myself less truth. Not okay. Yeah, I mean, look. A lot of these people get trashed for stuff for trafficking and rumors and whatnot. They're not lying when they tell you it's a rumor, meaning it could be true, but then again, it could not. Elements of it could be true, and some of it could not, and that sort of thing. And a lot of times, turns out to be true. We've seen this again and again and again with all kinds of movies and franchises and whatnot. So. That's that. So don't give the guy crap if it just 27th comes along and there's nothing. But so this is the first time it has been said Snyder Cut related will happen in the release of HBO Max. Grace Randolph suggested an announcement about the Snyder Cut would also come with the launch of HBO Max, which the above Facebook user seems to be corroborating with the teaser that may be released. Randolph has also said that Zack Snyder has scenes to finish filming. And that's the thing. I think that's why there's not a full-on release instead of this teaser. And the teasers just have to suffice to encourage subscription to say, yeah, it is coming. So that seems to back that up. And that Zack has huge plans. Well, if it pays off, I imagine the plans are a lot bigger than just filming a few more scenes to fit it to the original vision he had, which he readily admitted they turned it down. And when he shot his principal photography for a film that may actually be complete, outside of special effects and whatnot. But I think the bigger thing is that he wanted to go back and insert things in it that was never really originally there. He openly admitted he never shot his Martian Manhunter scene, and I'm thinking that's, if not the scene, it's it's certainly one of the scenes he wants to go and shoot and put it in there. As far as the elements that lead to the murder of Lois Lane and all that sort of stuff, I think that was supposed to be for the later films, not this one. But, maybe not. I don't know. But, I think some of this is probably likely or true. Then again, it could all be just now. Can't do it for whatever reason. But I know, of course, I'm biased. I want to see the film. Is that too much to ask? I just want to see it. But so much so with him doing his commentary on Batman versus Superman, and they allow that, and wishing Henry Cavill a happy birthday. It's just stuff, more and more, things like that. Although this little clip here about the making fun of Star Wars fans and Snyder Cut people, and it could just be the joke in and of itself. I watched the first episode of Harley Quinn and I was done. I think that's an awful series. The animation's not bad, but good God, it stinks. So if you like it, then good for you. But whatever. So then, they're just making fun of him, whatever. And I am concerned that nothing has been said. It seems to me that something would have been said by now. So it could be there will be no teaser. But as it is, that's the only thing possible to do because of the current, outbreak. He's unable to shoot anything. The visual effects and whatnot, that may already be done. But to have actual footage shot, you can't do it because, lockdown. So there you go. Some more hope for the Snyder Cut. Hashtag release the Snyder Cut, indeed. Hashtag Zack Snyder's Justice League. Oh, and I recently, I don't even have myself on camera here. I recently got my Zack Snyder's Justice League t-shirt. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Zack. It looks lovely. And I hope the money does go to help out people in trouble, for which the purpose it was. That's another thing. He couldn't do that with those superhero symbols on there that DC owns without their okay. So if the idea that they were upset with him and it would never happen, as someone else suggested, he wouldn't be able to do that either. And he did, because I know I have the shirt. All right, thank you for watching and listening. Please like and subscribe, and check out that link description below. That'll take you to my mini stores that have plenty of goodies for you, most notably my comic book, Night Night, over at IndiePlanet.com. Oh, yeah. You can also catch my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, on Radio Misfits, and you can also watch my videos over at BitChute.